Right, first thing I need to do, because I still haven't looked at it. I've had no time to look at my settings this week. It's terrible. You need to look at, make sure this is turned all the way up to 1000. Yes, it is. This is good. Okay, that's fine. I think we're good. I think we are good. That's the wrong. I love the way I'm looking at the wrong setup. That's still set up right. That's still set up fine. Blimey. Where are we at? Oh, right. Good. Super. Could be this one. My goodness. Right. Hello. Hey, Gaz. Mr. Badger. Mike. Evening, chaps and chapettes and chappies and chappies. How are we all? Oh, my goodness. I have just, to compound my joyous week, decided to add, I wasn't having enough fun. I now have hay fever to add to the joy. So if I sound like I'm a bit of snottle, because apparently, the plants are trying to kill me. That's what's going on at the moment. So there's that. What a week. Hey, Multiverse, good to see you, buddy. Thank you. Nico. Good to see you, bud. How are you? Right. Need something to watch during the painting. Well, hello. I don't know what I'm painting tonight. I was like, I'm going to do the thing. And I don't know what the thing is. I was going to paint, and then I was like, well, do I build stuff? Because I'm sort of working through, like, there's a load of stuff I need to paint around me at the moment. I'm beset on all sides. I've got a load of stuff to paint, stuff that I want to paint, stuff that I need to paint, stuff that I should paint, and all that kind of stuff. And my life is tough, guys. I really don't know how I cope. That's why your home country tried to drown them out with 300 days of rain. Thanks, Jenica. Thanks, Doreen. I appreciate that. Oh, it sucks. Kestrel! Just keep passing those fizz saves. I'm trying. My BTS is a bit low, though. Hey, JJ. Hello, hello. How are we all? What are we doing tonight? I think the thing that spun me out is I've spent the last few days finishing off the first and second waves of my fleet for drop fleet. So I've been building a lot of hang on, let's make sure we can. So I've been building a lot of drop fleet, like a lot. Because these are the new battle cruisers that have just come out. So I have 4 of these, which is a lot. So yeah, I've been building those. I've been building the rest of my fleet as well. So that's all done now, which is fab. But then you kind of, right, what do I do next? Because I still have oh God. I still have this entire set. Oof. I've got this thing to build. Modular space stations, which it's basically Lego. And it goes together in all these different and new and exciting ways. And I'm like, oh, I want to do that. I want to do the thing and do the stuff. But I've got other things that I need to do, and I don't need to do that yet. I need to paint some stuff first. So I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to do. This week is all about things we want to do rather than things that we need to do. So, well, having said that, I've got some kick-ass videos coming up, as I put up on Discord earlier on. Hopefully some of you saw. Some really good stuff coming. It's really cool. Thank you, Captain Castle. Appreciate that. Go fuss the cat. I don't have a cat. I had dogs. I could go and fuss the dogs, but paint a mini badly, like a Pano mini, something no one really Kestrel. I mean, yeah, but also no, but also yeah. Ah, dear. Paint new minis, something from Mazebreaker. My Mazebreaker is no longer in my house. My Mazebreaker has gone to its forever homes, which is not with me. Take a sip. I got questions. Uh-oh, incoming, Mike. I'm ready. Let me just limber up a little bit. Space stations are modular blissful badges, just the way they should be. Hey, Neil. Thank you, buddy. Glad to be here. It was one of those things that you kind of like, I could have just had an evening and just like, you know, or I could like, you know. So I decided to like, you know, it was one of those. So, but I still have hay fever and it's still driving me nuts. And over here, which you guys can't see, I've got a special project which you don't know about yet. No, in fact, there's like one person, well, apart from outside of this household, there's one person that knows. No one else. No one else knows. Very secret. Very exciting. Life in it. Yeah, in it. Captain Castle, you're hating assembling your minis. Why? What's going on? Although, to be fair, if you're building the not bikinis, whatever they're called, I forgot the names. If you're building those, the feet on those suck. Yeah, Mal Winters, hello, good evening. Yes, I have a special project. I have a special super secret project. I just sent you 2 pictures of my bubbles, my health, and my safety kit. Oh, nice. I will look forward to seeing those. Thank you, Dorina. That's very kind. Yeah, Blizzard Wedger. I just, so, like, at the moment, I'm selling off 3 Infinity armies. I've recently sold off some other armies and stuff. So I was having a moment where I was like, right, well, I'm paring back this and this and this. I'm about to start my Star Wars Legion project at the end of summer, when I get to the point where I can sort of slow down with my, should I get some painting done while we're just chatting? When I can sort of slow down with my PHR, because I want to have the bulk of that done and the bulk of my my starter stuff done. So I've got to finish these off as well for Drop Fleet. And like, I was like, okay, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? Because I've got a couple of armies to finish for Infinity. These. I've got my Shinden to finish. I've got my Shock Army to finish. I was like, what should I do? And then I had a moment where I was like, well, actually, what I want to do is meh, 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 meh. And specifically, what I want to do within the bounds of that is meh, 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 meh. And so I decided to do it. And it is in no small part due to the impending arrival of Father's Day. And my beautiful Mrs. Hydra was like, what do you want for Father's Day? Yeah, stuff. And I got her a rather good Mother's Day gift. Or sorry, the kids got a rather good Mother's Day gift, I should say. So therefore she was like, no. Need to get you something rather good. And I was like, well, that's it then, clearly. I don't have any choice. I have to start me. So I am. It's very exciting. I'm trying to decide. Evening shampoo. Feet. Yes, the feet on the not bikinis is just, dude. Oh, mate. Yeah. Stop sniffing. I can't stop sniffing. I've got hay fever. It sucks. When I saw that they hadn't changed the design of those, Captain Castle, oh, part of me died. Gets the flush. I've been on it for about 8 years, and my hay fever allergy is 99% of the thing in the past. Yeah, every bit of hay fever medication that I've tried has absolutely obliterated me. There are certain areas where my immune system is a complete tank, and I will just, things bounce off me. It's no problems whatsoever. And other things, it just turns into a little bit of a shrinking violet, and comes over sort of with an attack of the vapors. And that is one of the areas. Anything to do with my histamine system, my body just goes, oh my god, oh no, and I have to go for a sleep for about a day, which is just not practical. So mostly I live without it, which is not normally a problem because I'm not normally talking to a lot of people. And I decided to come on here, and I was okay. And then it just got worse about 10 minutes before I came on, and I was like, well, I said I was going to go on now, and I want to go on. But as soon as I've got my paint set up, it's going to be easier. But right now, I'm moving my head around, so we are an industrial scale snot factory, and you're welcome. Thank you for joining me in my moment of pain. Oh my goodness. Right. This one. There. Oh, that one? Yeah, ice yellow. There we go. I think we're going to do a little bit of biophycer in tonight. I think that's what we're going to do because it's quite straightforward. She's not difficult, and it's quite simple. Hang on one second. Where's me? Oh, I get the impression that this evening's going to be punctuated by little bits of silence like this. Back in the room. Slightly less sniffly. Right, what are we doing? Oh! Thank you. Shampoo, that's very kind. Thank you very much. That's very kind indeed. Oh dear. Right, what have I missed? Me and the lad learned Aristea yesterday, so that was nice. Yeah, not a bad system at all. Not bad at all. So mate, Vexo work. Noted, I shall go and dig into that. Now I shall go and dig into that. Stop doing the thing. Right. I wonder if I can get that over here, because sometimes we can't get stuff over here. No, apparently we can. That's Allah free. Yeah, Allah free. Yeah, well, we'll see. I'll dig into it further, but thank you. Buy over the counter now. Over here it's sold as Olivia. Boy painting. I think we're going to be working on this little guy tonight. I think we're going to be working on this chappy. What the shell did that do? I don't know what that did. It did a thing. What's this? I don't know what it is. I think maybe you just renewed? I don't know. Yeah. You did a thing. Hail mate, thank you. Thomas Gracie? Hello, welcome. So, what? Oh, thank you. Thank you for the gift membership. Thank you, Shempy. That's very kind. Do you mean snot for the snot? Behave. Buddy, I didn't do nothing. I don't know. Oh no, you've given Mike a gift membership. Now that's done it. Not only does he have questions, but he's a member. Mike, I expect to see you on Discord shortly. My goodness, that's really cool. Actually, that's really cool. I'm actually very close to hitting 100 members for the first time on YouTube, which is amazing. Crashing on a good evening. So yeah, it's going to be really strange actually when we hit that 100 mark. I don't know why. Numbers don't mean anything, but also it's just bizarre to me that like I have so many people that are prepared to support the channel. It's crazy. So thank you for that, Shampoo. No, he needs answers now. Well, of course he always needs answers. He said he had questions. I'm waiting for them. I'm just ready to sort of, I've got the catches out. I'm ready to sort of field those when they come in. I'm just intrigued as to what they're going to be. It's always an adventure. Let's be honest. I'm sorry, it's not funny. Good evening, Delana. How are you, buddy? How's tricks? Dorina is cracking out the epic comedy of a dad variety, I have to say. That is truly dad humour right there. But hey, as long as you're happy, that's the important thing. It's just not there. I need this a slightly different colour. This is not the one I want. It's not the colour what you want, people. We don't want that colour, but we want it in a minute. Right, where's me? Is it this one? I think it's orange red we're using as a base. Doing good. Painting some PHR Super Cruisers. Oh, nice. They are on my list. In fact, as I was just showing a minute ago, we've been building a lot of battle cruisers and such recently. I've built 2 of the battle cruiser boxes now, which is kind of funky. So we have plenty of those. Because this week, one of the videos that's going to drop is my review of Drop Fleet. What do I think? What's my view? I've been having some interesting chats with the one of the dudes over at TT about it. So we have info that's kind of cool that goes in that review too. You will hear about there. But yeah. But I really need to get these painted up and finished, because then I can run demos, which is kind of what we want to do. Demos are important. I'm painting some N3 Celestial Guard. Oh, classic. Absolutely classic. I miss the old CGs. They were very funky. I mean, the new ones aren't awful, don't get me wrong, but they're not the old ones, you know what I mean? Oh dear. What a weird week it's been. Like the channel's hit a spike up again because I've been putting more stuff out and trying different things, and it's been sort of working. Love my first game, really enjoyable, even though we got loads wrong. Yeah, same down there. It's really, Drop Fleet is a really, really fun system, I have to say. Absolutely in love with it. It's fantastic. And get more people playing it. But like, so the channel's just had a bit of a jump in numbers and stuff because it's really funny. So in my day job, I do a lot of, amongst other things, I do a lot of marketing for companies, and I'm pretty good at it. And then I come to my YouTube channel and I just herp a derp, and I lose a whole load of my sort of like standard skills, things that I sit down and do with clients, I don't do with my own stuff. And so I had a bit of a moment recently and did some of that. did some groundwork, shall we say. Realised a couple of important things, and I'm sort of refocusing the channel because, you know, that's what I want to do. I want to have it like done proper and good and stuff for you know, within bounds of it. I don't want it to be like a corporate soulless bloody some channels you watch. It's just meme followed by marketing speak, followed by meme, followed by clickbait and all that kind of stuff. And I have no interest in that. If I do clickbait, it's because I mean it, or I'm being ironic, one or the other, but not because that's a business strategy, because it's not. Anyway, I'm doing it a little bit more properly now, again, and we're getting more people in, but it's brought in the crazies. We've had some crazies. It's been great. I love a bit of crazy sometimes. Sometimes it's weird. But yeah, we've had, I think, 4 or 5 crazies in the last week I've had to deal with to varying degrees. Yeah. The internet does have them, I tell you. Mission review videos, are we done? You mean for, Mike, you mean for the ITS missions? I had fun with my Imperial Snow Troopers and speeder bikes. Ugh, nice. Another Empire player. No, don't encourage him. Darina, don't encourage Kaz. Kaz, don't encourage Darina. Behave. I noticed you've been putting in work lately. I have. I've been doing some stuff. It's just, yeah, the channel's kind of, it's hitting this tipping point where it's not paying the mortgage, but it's paying enough that it warrants a little bit more love. And also there's a little bit of ego involved of like, actually, I want to take this further. I want to see this succeed, because ego is the wrong word. I'm getting a lot of people that are commenting and coming in to take the time out to say, you know, you've had this impact on my hobby and on my world. And I'm like, that's what I do this stuff for. That is, I view that as a really positive outcome, a really good thing to do. You know, when people are like, I've got this new hobby because of you, and it's really sort of, I've met a new bunch of friends and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, that's what I do this for. That's the idea. So if it's being successful, I want to do more of it and push it further, because then more people are going to have happier times. And I want people to have happier times, because we don't always live in the best times, and sometimes it can be quite sad and quite isolating. And if what I could do here helps other people to have a better life, then I want to do more of that. It's as I've said, as I'm on record as saying, it's kind of my mission in life. To entertain, inform, and just, you know, ideally, if we ever part ways, I mean, to look back at our time together and be like, hell yeah, that was a good time. It made a positive impact on my world. That's what I'm looking to do. So, yeah. Right, where are we? Playing Justin tomorrow. Guess what he's bringing? Shinden, yay! Missing parts and repeat speeder bike pilots. Oh, nice, Doreen. That's lovely. JJ, yep. That would be an interesting match. That's relative newbie versus newbie. So JJ versus Shampoo would be interesting. When has telling me to behave ever worked? Like, come on, yeah, but Kaz, I'm an optimist. I do love that orangey yellow on those biofaces. Thank you very much. I need to work out a way to make it quicker down there. It's a little bit slow at the moment. I need to figure out a way to hammer through it, and it will stop me doing a full like fleet of them, because it's just a little bit too much work. But like when it's done, it's kind of got this nice pop to it. I want to keep that. So, Thomas, I have a question. I'm a new player and I'm splitting the maze breaker box and getting the Corregidor side. You pointed out in your vid that the sides weren't well balanced, not even remotely. Should I get an additional box of something to supplement that force, or should I just wait for alpha, beta, etc. boxes after this release, assuming they're coming? One, they will be coming to us. You can absolutely take that one to the bank. They're going to be on the way. I would add things in, but also because like the Corgi box is fine for what it is, but it is missing certain. It's missing certain like elements that in my opinion you should have with Corregidor. So sorry, that was somebody. Are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. Oh yeah, I'm fine. Where's Corregidor? Because I can't remember whether There's a specific unit I want to recommend to you. Yeah, get yourself some Morans. Pick yourself up a box of Morans. They are a staple for Corregidor. They are incredibly useful. They add a lot of versatility to a force. They are filth. They give you area control. They give you specialists. They give you repeaters. And they give you weaponry that infiltrates. They are very, very good. So I definitely invest in those because Corregidor using Morans is a must, in my opinion. They are too damn useful. Should you get an iguana? You should always get an iguana. You should get an old iguana. The new ones are fine, but the old ones are better, in my opinion. Yes. I think Zogar is not as much a bunch of dorks as I initially thought, thanks to you. That kind of stuff that makes you proud. Kestrel, don't push it. I like you, and I like how you paint. You're a nice chap. Don't make me regret that decision. Good evening, Neo Galder. Hello and welcome. That's one thing I like about my scheme. It's moderately quick. I have 3 ships on the go at the same time. Ugh. I have more than one. So I have like got multiple boxed in and stuff and ready to go of this scheme down there. But it's when it comes to like the bits with the panels to bring the color up, I kind of have to wet blend it to an extent. So you can't really kind of just you can't have 3 on the go at the same time because what you really need to do is get one panel started to light up. And then bring the other ones in, you know? Bring the other colours in while it's still wet. So it's a bit annoying. But like you, I'm happy with the results. I'm happy with how it finishes up. So, yeah, it's my own damn fault. I should have just gone, yellow, edge highlight, profit. That would have been a lot easier. But that's not me. That's not how we do things around here. My life would be vastly easier if I did that. But that's, you know, here we are. Mean about Soga. Really? I asked in such a video, ask again, does the old one and the new one work decently versus for learning and such? I need to look at the new one. I don't think so. I think the new one they've borked a little bit. I don't know what's going on with CB at the moment. They're making these dumbass decisions. Anyway, the old one was cool. The old start here box was really, really cool. Old miniatures, which wasn't the best. But yeah, it was fine and it was balanced and it worked to a greater extent. This new box, you know, when you look at the Throkatai, what they've done is they've balanced 3 infantry that are armor 3 and like mid BS. I think they're BS 12, BS 13 on the LF side. So this is the new Start Here box. If you haven't seen it, it's a new 2-player starter set for Infinity M5. And it's got 3 miniatures per side, 1 for LF, generic LF, and 1 for Nomads. Well, 3 for Nomads, sorry, 3 for each. And you've got terrain, and you've got rules, and you've got dice, and all this templates and stuff. It's brilliant, brilliant set. Normally around €45, so it's an absolute killing. But the stuff that's in the box is kind of like, the LF side is quite grunty, quite pokey, it's quite strong. And then on the other side, you've got a Mobile Brigada, which is 2 wounds and 4 armor. So it is quite crunchy. It is pretty crunchy. But then you've got 2 Alguaciles, which are just, I mean, they're not the worst light infantry, but up against a Thracatai, they're victims, basically. So, I don't know. I don't necessarily get the idea behind that. So, here we go again. We're going to be doing, this is the way you use the starter box so that it actually freaking works. There is, in development at the moment, a video, and it's, so I've got, there are 2 videos that I really want to do for Infinity at the moment. And one of them is deployment. This is how you deploy. This is deployment theory, effectively. And that's quite, as I'm sure you can imagine, that's quite in depth because you have the basics of deployment theory, and then you have the real world. You're deploying first, you're deploying second, counter deployment, denied flanks, setting up an alpha strike, defensive deployment, layered defense, or these kind of things that you can build into that. So there's a lot of things to be spoken about when it comes to deployment with Infinity. So that's quite a deep one that we need to get done. And then there is the absolute beast, which is, this is how you set up a table for N5. Because that is just, I've done one before, and it's fine, but we can do better than that. We can make it prettier, and we can make it more useful, and all this kind of stuff. So I'll redo that, but I'm kind of at a point where occasionally a video will sort of pitch up in my head and sort of complain for attention until it gets it. And at the moment we have one of those. And that is very much this is how you create a starter box for a war game. Because so many companies are completely, they nail these products together based on, I don't know, marketing data, and they're missing certain key things. And it's, if you haven't seen, I mean, a lot of people, I was quite surprised actually, a lot of people watched the 2-player starter set review for Dropfleet. But one thing I say in there is this box is great, but the details are rubbish. Like the tokens and stuff that are in it are really cheap. And if this is your first experience of that system, that's rubbish. No one wants to buy something and be like, well, that's a bit rubbish. That's a bit tat. You want to have that really sort of buzzy, warm feeling. You know what I mean? Where are we? So yeah, Blissful Badger. We're going to be talking about what they should have, and there's going to be more in depth on the new Start Here box at some point. Oh yeah, I forget, we have played, haven't we, Shampoo? I gave you cuddles on the board, it's very different. You should get Moran's, seriously Thomas, they're very, very cool. We are painting some Biofighters. I'm getting my 2 starter fleets up. I've done my UCM, they're all done and dusted. And I want to get my Biofighters up and painted, so then I've got 2 fleets to demo with. Because I think we're at about 4 or 6 players for Drop Fleet now locally. So it's growing quite nicely, and I want to give people more chance to play. So good choice, Mr. Van Diem. I know, plenty of beautiful stuff. Who'd have thought? Neil Calder, not a fan of wet blending compared to glazing, but for some things it's irreplaceable. Yeah, and I find it when it's working well, I find it incredibly enjoyable. I just enjoy the experience of wet blending. There are better ways of doing it. There are easy ways of doing it, but I just like it. So, you had a squad of snow troopers missing parts, so I had to buy an extra box to make a full unit. That's ridiculous, Doreen. That should not be allowed. That's what I'm thinking. I would say that orange yellow is 100% better than tabletop quality, though. It stands out and looks beautiful. Well, thank you very much. TT needs to watch that video. It's a crap starter set. TT have watched that video. I have had conversations. There are conversations going on with TT down there. Yeah, we're going to be doing nice things. We're going to be doing nice things. So there were some very interesting conversations, and there are going to be some very more interesting conversations, I think, in the future and stuff. So there's some good people, and they seem open to like suggestions and stuff, and we're talking about ways that can happen and things. So I want to see them succeed. I think, you know, Drop Fleet deserves and Drop Zone deserve to really fly. They're top tier games, or the previous version, sorry, of Drop Zone, which is the last one I played. They're top tier games, and they deserve more market share. So yeah. Where are we? How do you actually feel about Saigon? That guy's really cool. Do you ever filled him? No. Saigon? Oh, no. I haven't done yet, but at the moment, so really immature meta locally for that Kestrel. So therefore, I think taking those more crunchy and more versatile units is a little bit soon. I need to get more people playing more regularly, and then you can start bringing the stupid stuff. Don't drink the yellow water. That is something that is important in life, Dorina. One should never drink the yellow water. Infinity is not hard to make a 3-troop versus 3-troop box. It's hard to make it when you're being dumb, Neo Calder. So, for example, if they were to do an Orc for Pano with 2 Fusiliers versus 2 Alguaciles and a Mobile Brigada, that'd work. That would work. Because the Orc would shoot better. Yeah, no, it would work. That really simple. Just like, boom, thank you very much. Preparing for the rest of the family's flight to Korea tomorrow, so I'll only listen. Oh well, that's a perfectly good reason not to get stuck into hobby right now. If you're going to Korea tomorrow, that would be a perfectly good reason. I feel like they need to promote their new edition. A lot of people I've spoken to say they tried it years ago and hated it, not knowing it's hugely changed. Absolutely down there, and that's kind of what I've seen with like the comments and the feedback that I've had from the videos that I've started to put out on Drop Fleet. Is people are like, hang on, there's a new edition? Which is why I'm trying to sort of do this front-loaded batch at the moment of like The next video, as I say, is a review of the system, like honest warts and all. This is what I think, because I think it's imperfect, but I still think it's definitely something that if you like spaceship, you should try. Very few people noticed the fact that I dropped in the clip of Spaceship into my review. It's the people that did, the people that really love the channel, that like really care, they messaged me and they were amused. And the rest of you didn't even notice. I was very disappointed. Anyway, guilting over. The next bit is the review of the system, and then we're going to do this is the way you start the system, and how you build on it. So, and then at some point, this is the other reason that I need these all painted up, we're going to be doing the dry dock, which is where we're going to talk about how you play the game. So we finish Eldfall first, and then we start the next section of the Eldfall stuff, which is going to be so good, but we're not talking about that yet. It's not going to involve Sand Kingdoms. And then we're going to start on this is how you play Drop Fleet, basically, because frickin' Spaceship. Though I've never played a game below 150 points. It's not Neocard, I don't think it's worth playing a game. So I sort of delineate between learning the basics of the mechanics of the system, which is where you should start with Infinity, and actually playing a game, which is where you put a mission in. I think they're different. GMG did a nice video on a cheap N5 table. Yeah, but it's the fundamental, like, when you get, so like, I can fire up an Infinity table very, very quickly because I've done it so much and I know the theory and I know what makes a good table and what doesn't make a good table. But it's not necessarily about a cheap table. It's understanding the anatomy and the things that create a table that works. And what I mean by a table that works is that an Infinity table should be a canvas on which you play, not a third player in the game. And it is really, really easy for it to become a third player in the game. And you absolutely want to avoid that. And it's about understanding how that happens, why that happens, and being able to instinctively sort of avoid it. That's the important thing. Because cheap or expensive doesn't matter. It's how it sits on the table and what it does for your gaming experience that matters more, in my opinion. I've seen some really beautiful tables that were horrific to play on. They were just terrible because the people putting it together did not understand that, you know, the basic concepts behind setting up an Infinity table. So so for your hay fever, you don't get on okay with nasal spray. No, I have a damaged sinus, and that's a conversation for another time with many beers. So nasal spray is incredibly painful. All of TT combat tokens and sheets in the sheets are a bit naff. You are generous, Captain Castle. They are dire. It's baby's first war game level of tat, in my opinion, and it's such a letdown for such a, you know, for the rest of the stuff in the box is really, really nice, and then your gaming aids is just tat, and it's just so disappointing. Which I've politely pointed out to the guys, but that's going in the review of the Drop Fleet system. So started painting my UCM, but I'm so slow. Take your time. There's no need to rush. You know, I mean, it's nice to play painted, and that's always the goal, but you paint at a speed. It's like, I know people that paint an hour, several hours every day, and they are quicker and better than I will ever be. But when I sit down and I paint my stuff, like on our Mondays together, I tend to enjoy it. It tends to be fun, and that's more important than being quick. You know, this is, I guess it depends how you look at it. I'm trying to look at painting these days as part of the hobby, not just something that needs to be bypassed to get onto the stuff that I want to do. And I think that's an important mental change in myself. And maybe that's, yeah, I guess it depends how you look at it. Whether it is part of the hobby or just a bloody inconvenience to get out of the way. To do Carnival any good? Yeah, I've heard things. Spaceship! As much as I dislike GW, they are masters promoting their new editions. Yes, they are. What I don't get, they provide awful tokens in the starter, but then don't sell fancy ones. Watch the review of the system, because that's a whole conversation that I'm going to have in there. Because I had a conversation about that today. There was a whole like, oh, really? But yes, they should sell fancy ones. They're absolutely leaving a big pile of cash on the table. But I understand the whys and the wherefores of it, but also no. I understand why they're doing what they're doing, I just disagree with it. So I've got to be honest, I think this review of Dropfleet is going to be one of the most knotty ones I've ever done. Because normally a review is kind of, it's freaking great, or yeah, it's alright. And here's why not. And this, yeah, well, you'll have to watch it and find out. If you saw the 2-player starter set, like that, but writ large, basically. Yeah, but no, but yeah, but I love all of it apart from this chunk over here, basically. So it is what it is. We shall see. We shall see. Only play a few games, but it's fun. I like it. What review? The review for Dropfleet Commander, which will be out later this week. So if you look at the channel news section of the Discord, which you can only do if you are a member of the channel or a Patreon, then you will see on there that, yeah, I've put some videos about, or some thumbnails about what's coming up this week. It's a busy week. I've got a whole list over there. It's great. Give me a nudge when you do Dropfleet Scourge faction focus. That might kick me up the arse to bring my fleet out of retirement. Oh, it's dangerous. Your FLGS drop zone fleet stuff is still mostly Hawk stuff. Oh, don't tell me that. It's tempting. There's certain things that I think were nicer with the Hawk. Anyway, we're not going there. But yeah, we've got a new edition of Drop Zone coming up, and I'm definitely not going to be getting involved in that. Oh my god, please save me. I'm not going to touch it. I'm not even going to look at it. Really, no, honestly. Definitely not. So... okay, I'm done with the Italian mosquitoes. I'm going to bed. Mr. Van Dam, you're a wuss. Sleep well, buddy. Who mentioned Carnival? Both Captain Castle and Mr. Van Dam, who's now vacated the premises because he's so tasty he's getting munched on. The new pre-coloured MDF scenery is really nice. Would be so easy to produce a sheet of wooden tokens from the same take. Yeah. The thing is, when you look at it, and it's like, well, there's 101 ways to resolve this situation, and you took none of them, which is just disappointing. So I shall keep my money, thank you very much. You don't get it, which is a shame. Mike, you still here? You had questions. You had questions, and I want to know. Also, bases, don't get me started on bases. Yeah, do not get me started on bases. Dear Lord. Shampoo, how's the Dropfleet Commander new edition then? Dropfleet Commander is freaking awesome. It is fun, it's light, but you have a lot of control, you have a lot of choices, and it's tactical, and there's depth there, but like the basic core rules are really, really simple and straightforward to get your claws into, and building the ships. I mean, there's certain things I didn't like about building the ships, I'll be honest with you, but that's because I'm impatient and not the most skilled builder in the world. But getting a sprue for a ship and having all these bits on it that you can like build into lots of different variants, and then like putting it together and building it is so cool. It's just like, I've looked at other systems and they're like, this builds this type of ship and you buy this ship in this box and that's what you get. And I'm like, well, that's maybe not necessarily what I want. What I want is to like get it and then be like, oh, I've got all these bits, what should I do? I'm going to stick it together this way and this way and this is going to happen. And whee! And Dropfleet is that. It understands, it understood the objective, it understood the purpose basically of what we're trying to do with wargaming with spaceships, which is that child playing with Lego and also watching all those old school like movies and Star Wars and stuff like that of having like the different ships. And it's got to be cool, you know. It's got to be cool. I'm excited for the review, but it seems we're getting a preview now. No, you're not. Oh my god, no, you're not. When you watch the review, you'll wish you had. Anyway, start with Battlefleet. Yeah. Wait a minute. I meant to say Drop Zone Commander. That was... no. So Drop Zone is there's a new edition coming that's not here yet. That will be out in a little while, I'm assured. And yeah, I like Drop Zone. Drop Zone's a lot of fun. It's a fluffy little D6 system. The only problem I had with it historically is it was really, because it's a D6 system, sometimes it was really swingy and sometimes that just kind of sucked. Because your tanks that you fielded wouldn't necessarily get a load of shots. They'd get some shots because that's just how it worked. And then if you had a bad roll and you're only throwing 3 dice and all 3 of them missed, you're like, well, that's that for that turn then. Bugger. And if it was a sort of important unit with an important job to do, that felt bad. There's no two ways about it, but that is the nature of a system. But because of the sort of scale and the number of units that you had on the board, it could be a bit of a buzzkill, to be honest with you. It really could. But I love the system. I love the dynamism of it, of like, you know, you drop these guys in from a little light drop ship, they land on the roof of the building and then they fight their way through it and then they go back into the spaceship and then you fly them off somewhere else and they do it all again. It was brilliant. It was just, you know, it was everything it needed to be and absolutely nothing more. And I liked that about a system. If it gets the sort of the memo, it knows what it needed to do and it does it. I love that. And that's exactly what Drop Zone was for me. We shall see whether they keep that going. The Hawk bases for Drop Fleet were a lot better. Agreed. Love the enthusiasm. Can always listen to that game. Looks cool. Yes, it does. Very much so. My mate spent 6 hours magnetising his entire UCM battle fleet. I just couldn't. Dear God in heaven, no. I lack the patience to magnetise anything. Years and years ago, I got into Warcaster, and Warcaster, if you're not aware of it, it's set in the future of the world of War Machine. And it's a really, really cool system. And you had all these little jacks in it, and those jacks could be customised with different weapons, and people did them so that they could like magnetise the weapons and hot swap and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And so I did like one, and my soul died. I'm not. This is before I'd accepted the fact that I am not a patient like painter or wargamer or everything. I'm not a patient individual when it comes to most of the hobby. And that I tried. Bless me, I tried, but it was not to be. It's just not to be. I got part way through. I was like, I hate this. This sucks. I'm not doing it anymore. And then I realised the game kind of wasn't going anywhere either, and it just kind of kaput basically. Unfortunately. Hey Dice, need to thank you. You got me into Infinity. Oh, you're most welcome. And I got my first game lined up for Wednesday. My wallet, on the other hand, would like to curse. Bring it. I've been accused of worse. Surfer, you are most welcome, and welcome to the wonderful community that is Infinity. I hope you have lovely players around you and you can have some fun. What faction are you playing? Where are you based? What part of the world are you in? And thank you. It's lovely to hear when people get into a system through listening to my stuff, you know? Exactly, crashing onto which faction hurt your wallet. Tell us where it hurt you. Your wallet also ain't talking to you anymore. It's a problem. Now, Calder, the UCM cruisers are pretty nice to magnetise at least. Yeah, I've heard they are, but I just lack the patience. I magnetise things that made sense. Battleship, anything that was a single magnet per swap, not cruisers or frigates. I'll end up with enough of those. Yeah, I know what you mean. Shaz. Ooh, and you're going VCA. Oof. Generic combined army. How not to have friends. So when I got back in with N4, I went Shaz first, and yeah, Shaz are a lot of fun. Shaz approached the officer by being sneaky bastard, sir. It's, yeah. What I used to like doing as well is playing Shaz with very little camo. Because people do not understand that at all. It's like, okay, where are your camo markers? Nah, I haven't brought any. Oh my god. Just a couple of impersonation markers and a bad attitude. That was always fun. Although it's not really as possible as it used to be, because Sheskin can't be pure fire teamed up with Nox anymore. When she used to be able to be fire teamed up like that, it was just pure pain train. So much fun. Well, for me, not for anyone else. I played many moons ago. I played a doubles tournament, and the person that I was playing with, I'd never met before, and various things, but he went first in this game where we played against two other players, and he had a bit of a Whiffington. It did not go his way, and so in my turn I just unleashed hell, and Sheskin pretty much wrapped up an entire flank on her own as part of a 5 fire team. This being N4, she was on +3 to hit because of the 5-man fire team, and we were engaging from good range all the time. So it was just like, yeah, you can't kill me, I can kill you. I think she was shooting on 21 or less, which was brilliant. It was just like, yep, Bert, you're dead. Bert, you're dead. Loved it. An alien, how interesting. BS18 Shez is horrific. I grant you that one. Sheskin at anything above, any trooper above 15. BS 15 is just like, okay, this is bordering on the dirty now. I'm not necessarily the nicest person. I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to make corpses. Stand still, this is going to hurt. Which is, that's Infinity for you. It's not necessarily a very cuddly system. Unless you like sort of cuddling body parts only. But that is the joy of it, isn't it? Air quotes around that joy, depending on which side you're on, of course, as I say. Rob Shepard did another faction tier list, and Shaz made the jump into C tier from D tier. Soon in 6 years or so, they'll be mid B tier. Yeah, we'll see. Still not doing tier lists. They drive me nuts. I have a religious problem with tier lists. Definitely. But, there's worse things in life, but yeah. We're not doing those. Definitely not. Boop. Starting to look okay. This side's starting to look okay. We need to brighten the yellow up a bit more, I think. It's not quite strong enough yet, and like darken the bottom of this orange a little bit, I think. But it's looking okay. What do you think? You think it's looking okay? I think it's looking okay. It's not quite popped enough as this one yet. I've got to make it a little bit more yellow. But I find if I go too quickly onto the yellow, then it isn't strong enough. So it looks a bit flat, and it doesn't have that real sort of like bang effect. That's what I'm after. That is what I'm after. So yeah. From when to then, but maybe not in comparison to others. No, Shaz dipped out. They used to have these really fun like fire team combinations you could do, as well as sort of banking up with the camo spam, which was really nice. But then with the arrival of M5, we lost a lot of those. We lost a lot of them towards the end of N4, to be fair. Got a real sort of chip here and a chip there, and a little bit more off here and a little bit more off there, and suddenly we went from, we have really unpleasant options, to please don't hurt us too badly, we're only little bugs. And that was kind of sucky, but I don't know, maybe it needed to happen, maybe they were overzealous, maybe it was a bit them, maybe it was a bit us, who knows. Whatever the case, it is what it is. It's the nature of the beast. Sometimes you get the whiffle bat of pleasure, and sometimes you get the whiffle bat of pain. The nerf bat, or the pano bat as I like to call it, which is the other side where everything gets boosted and tweaked. You live in Oregon. I got to pick up a used lot of shares for a decent price, and I think there's only 3 that I got that can't be in VCA. Nice. I like the idea of doing them up in a Halo Covenant style. That would be awesome. That I would like to see. If you do that and you've got it on social media, Surfer, then do next, when you've done some, post it and I'll have a look. Or, of course, join the channel, become a member, and then you can post it on Discord, and we can all just sit there and sort of give you the adulation you deserve. Tier lists are dumb. End of rant. Thanks, Jimbo. Pretty much. I'm just working on the flesh of my US Army. That's why I'm not typing. Yeah, fair play. Dorina, you crack into it. I'm making enough noise for both of us, let's be honest. It's kind of my thing. Quite a noisy individual, I have to say. What's everyone else doing? Anyone else doing hobby tonight? 2 more frigging feet than I'm done with Maze Breaker and Beyond. Oof. Push to the end, Captain Castle. They will not beat you. Just make sure they dry thoroughly so they don't drop off. No one expects a Nocta for Spitfire. Its key weapon is Fear, Fear and Surprise. Fear, Surprise, Mimetism -6. Fear, Surprise, Mimetism -6 and Surprise Shot. And good range bands. Can also be a huge pain in suppressive. Absolutely, it can indeed. Have you played with biofighters yet? They look super complicated. I have not. I want to get them painted first, and then I'm going to try them out. So, yeah, I've not had the pleasure. It's coming though. It's gonna happen soon. But like, because mostly when I'm going to be playing this at the moment, it's going to be at our local gaming nights. I want to get them on the table when they look wow. You know what I mean? So we did. Phoenix Blade and myself did a game a few weeks back, and his fleet of UCM was mostly painted, and my fleet of UCM was painted. And people were like, "Ooh," because obviously it looked really pretty, because it was all like nice, and that got people really hyped for it. So I kind of want to make sure that when these hit the table, they hit the table sort of dressed up and looking fancy, basically. So, yeah, that's hence the reason we're putting the time in. Blueberry Poster Child must be playable. I missed something. Welcome, my Bakunin again. Bravo, JJ. My Shinden need paint too, but they are my communal paint project. Bakunin is my home one. Fair play. It's good to have. It's good to have a process. I'm working on some minis that don't fit in any army project I should be working on. It's great. Sometimes you've just got to have that rebel moment where you're like, no, you know what? I should be, but instead I am. I'm doing this because this is fun instead. Excuse me. Because it's, like I said in the video last week, your hobby is supposed to be fun. And that's always the case. It should always be enjoyable. And if it's not, well, you're doing something wrong. It's that simple. So, yeah. You've got to break away sometimes. Don't get me wrong, there's that sort of balance to be struck between discipline of like, no, this thing needs to be finished, and fun. But predominantly, you should be aiming to have fun. Like, much as I would rather be painting other stuff currently than my biofighters, to be completely honest, this is getting me towards that fully painted stuff, so that I can put these on the table in front of Shampoo, and he can go, no, I'm not doing it, and then he'll find out more and more about the system, and then he'll come back week after week and be like, yeah, no, you've got that rule wrong because I found this over here. Oh, you don't play? No, I don't play, but I just happen to know. I just sort of picked it up randomly. He's like that. He will cave. We will have his soul again, because we already got it once for Infinity, so, you know. Better have a matching pair. Communal paint what? Painting in a library together with other people, Shampoo. It's called being communal and friendly. I'm hobbying my body, stupid Jim. Yeah, I need to do that. I'm currently built for comfort, not speed, and we need a bit more of a balance the other way. Which individual ship is this one? Yeah, it's that one. I can't remember which one this is. I could look it up. I'll go and look it up in a minute. I will let you know. Banner Ultramarines. Oof. Blue Boys. The Blue Boys. I'm going to get back painting Varuna tonight. Nice, Kaz. Start your Shinden. Nice. Sounds good. That sounds good. I went in too early with that blend there, and the paint underneath it is still wet, so it's not come out right. I was dumb. That's my impatience coming in. Like, oh, it's getting there. It's nearly done. Let's just do that bit. See, now that's where you stop it. You don't do any more. You wait for this to dry off a little bit, just so it sets enough that you can then go over with another layer and just like water it down and bring that yellow up a little bit. I'm too impatient. I have the patience of one of my children, and they have zero chill when it comes to life, which is, you know, I mean, sometimes it's a good thing to be impatient with life, and other times you've just got to accept the fact that the paint has to dry before you do the next layer. Doesn't matter how much you want to do it now, you've got to wait. Now it's starting to pop, isn't it? That yellow is starting to go boom. Do we think? Do we like it? Is it pretty? Tell me I'm pretty, boys. Validate me. Validate me. Yeah. Fulcrum. It could be. Soul's gone. It has gone. You're quite right, Shampoo. We have discussed this at length. Shampoo, I was thinking about doing that at like gaming nights and saying we're not going to game tonight. There's going to be a paint station set up and everyone can sit around and talk rubbish and paint. But, you know. It is. I say you've got two people. This is it. JJ, you show people the cool stuff. Whatever the setting, you'll get people going, ooh, still need to get a hang of wet blending someday. Seen the vids, need to practice. Yeah, that's all you can do. You've got to learn and blend and layer. How old are your bairns? It's okay to ask. It is 2 and 4. Looking nice. Thank you, Neil Calder. One hell of a blend. Thank you very much, JJ. It is without a doubt beautiful. I love a good yellow. It's so hard to paint well. Yeah, it's. I've done it on lots of different armies now though, so I've got kind of better at it over time, and I've also used it when I've been painting really sort of luminous greens, like when I really want to make greens pop. I've got this really favourite greeny yellow colour that I use to sort of bring it up a little bit, and that is also based in the yellow spectrum, so I've done a lot of yellow. I'm currently selling off my Invincible Army, which is also a yellow-green, and that was a lot of yellow to green blending. I like it though. It turned out, that army turned out well. I was pleased with it. Oop, look out. We have to tidy you up later, won't we? Thursday is my hobby night where I paint with people. That's nice. Thank you, JJ. 2 and 4 is hard work. Mine are 13 and 14, a different kind of hard work. This is it. It never stops. It's just a matter of degree. And then they'll leave home and you just have to worry remotely. A friend of mine, a friend of a friend, true story, started Infinity with Operation Wildfire, nice, and went on to amass a comprehensive Star Marder force. He left the hobby and donated the army to me, but I can't get into them. Ouch. Yeah, I was tempted by Star Marder recently. There's some bits about them that I really like, but yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to be sensible. I'm getting rid of 3. Well, I've got rid of 1 army. I've got 2 or more armies to go. I'm just trying to cut it back a little bit. But then, when you're in that situation where you're like, well, I've got these empty army boxes over here. Like, no, you haven't. You've sanitized your armies down to stop yourself having a medium-sized breakdown. Yeah, but you know, empty boxes attract miniatures. It's just gravity. That's what it is. Like, it's a potential vacuum right there. The miniatures can shoot straight in. Is there anything exciting about O12? Yes, there is. There is some very interesting stuff about O12. I have opinions. That'll come. You'll hear about those. That's a later thing. It's definitely a later thing. But yeah. Oh, I've got to get all the faction focuses done as well. I've got a. For those of you who don't know, we have the faction focus for the Helion League for Eldfall coming out this week, I think. Should be. Yeah, it is this week. That is this week. Or I've said it's this week, so it better be. So I've got that coming out, but I need to get some more done for Infinity because y'all are waiting. I know you are. I know it. So you know, it's coming. So I'm just going to put an edge on that and then call that done. I think. I kind of could push that, but I don't think I actually want to. I think that's kind of okay. It's not quite as, is it quite? I think with an edge, it's going to work with that quite nicely. A little bit more orange than that one, but that's not okay. That's not a problem. Having a big table dedicated to painting at gaming nights as a communal space is nice. It pulls people who want to see. Yeah, exactly. JJ, you've got to give people the opportunity to approach the hobby the way they want to. Which hobbies am I getting rid of? Do you mean, Neo? I have gotten rid of my Tunguska have gone, which was hard. That was hard. Scrap Heap Sally has gone to a new home, which was, yeah, that was tough. It was the right choice. and my Corregidor is going, and my Invincible Army is going. So I'm getting rid of, and I'm selling the like 6 miniatures that I have for Bakunin, but I don't think they'll probably go anywhere. I get the impression they're just going to sit in the cupboard and look sad. So yeah, my Nomads are going, and actually Mrs. Hydra is going to sell all of her Tohar as well. She has a very tasty Spiral Core army, including some stuff that's like brand new in box, like the Kotar, the guys with the Pokemon. She's got a box of those, brand new, untouched. Never seen sunlight, moonlight. If you know the movie, you know the next line, but I'm not going there on this stream. And yeah, she's like, actually, if I play my Bakunin, or I play my Thenian for Eldfall. I'm not playing Tohar anymore, so they can go to a new home. So I've got to sit down and like document everything that she's got, get a list of that, and then get them out there. So that'll be exciting. I just noticed the Beyond Mazebreaker box doesn't even tell you what these models are, not helpful as a potential second purchase. There should be have I got a box around here I can use? No, I don't. Oh, that's annoying. There should be a barcode, a QR code on it that you can scan. Captain Castle, there should be one on there. Hang on, let me see if I can grab it. So I did have a Mazebreaker box around here somewhere, but where that's gone, I don't know. Oh my goodness, that's just... I've got a pile of stuff in the corner, and there's so much stuff in my stuff corner. It's unnatural. It's not normal. Oh god, that's a pile of Conflict 47 that's not got a home. Mazebreaker got one on it. It doesn't. They do. They have. You're looking for QR codes like that. This is on the back of Mazebreaker, but I think Beyond's got one as well. If you find that and you scan it, it should take you to this is what you've got in your box. That should be in there. Excuse me. So I would check for that, but it should be there. I've got a Beyond Mazebreaker box somewhere as well. Oh, I've done with that. Unbelievable. My office needs resorting. Mrs. Hydra went off and bought us a tent, which is now living in the office with me, and with her, to be fair, when she's here. But it's so big, it's taken up like the entire front of all the bookcases off to one side. It's very stressful. Things I do for love and marriage, honestly. Stop selling armies, it hurts my soul. No, you can't make me. If they're not making me happy, they're stuff. If they're stuff, I don't need them, they can go. So there you go. Why do people want to buy empty boxes? They don't, but I keep the boxes around for props when I'm shooting videos. I can stick them in the background and be like, yes, look, here's the infinity part. It creates a little bit of visual interest other than just my face. No, not Invincibles. Yep, Invincible armies are going. Which paints are you using, by the way? So this, from Black, I think, yeah, it's this orange leather goes over first just to provide a bit of a base, and then I've got an orange red from Model Colour, so that goes on there, and then light orange goes on there, and then I'm into the yellows, but an AK, radiant yellow, and ice yellow. I'll stick pictures up of it if you want to see them. Remind me, and I'll stick up the little group on Discord. But then I'm blending through those colours as well, because the first step in the yellows is actually a blend between the light yellow and the yellow. So the light orange and the yellow. That's the first step in the yellows. So. Are you planning to do all the Infinity Faction focuses? That feels like an insurmountable task. There are 35, so yes, I am. It's not about insurmountable, it's about I need to be more efficient at doing them. That's what it comes down to. I need to figure out a way of making them smoother and quicker. So, what 6 Bakunin miniatures? Zoe and Pywell, a couple of Mars spiders, oh god, a Prowler, something else. Zoe and Pywell are painted. The Mars Spider is part painted, or one of the Mars Spiders is part painted. I think there's something else, but I can't be sure. At least 5, maybe 6. I thought it had to be AK. Their paints are lovely. Yeah, they are. They are really nice, actually. I've been tinkering with these. These are 3rd gens, aren't they? Yeah, 3rd gen. They're really nice, I have to say. There's so many different like manufacturers of paints out there at the moment, and I think you've got to find the specific colours that work for you and that achieve the effect you want. Because I don't think any one sort of individual manufacturer has nailed it, in my opinion. I think they've all got sort of like, because some of the colours in some of these ranges are just duff. I used to be a huge fan of Scale 75, and their graphite grey is still one of my favourite paints, like a staple. I have normally 2 or 3 bottles of that kicking around because I use it so frequently. The idea of running out of it makes me nervous. So, but like the yellows, definitely I'm going to be using AK for that from now on, because they just work. They're just pretty. They've got nice they're nice and vibrant when they're done, and it works really nicely. But then the top highlight, this ice yellow from Vallejo, in my opinion, is better than the top sort of white yellow that AK have got. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. Let's just put a little bit of this on those. That's the sound of me concentrating there. It's a very, very rare sound, that actual concentration. If the view's suddenly obscured, it will just be the smoke pouring out of my ears. Be fine. I think that looks alright. What do you think? I look alright? I think it looks alright. Looks good. Hey, Rat and Mike. Good evening. She is getting rid of them shampoo. She is. She's not playing them. They've been sat in the box for years, so. You see these goods? F that QR code system that CB have adopted. A number of them don't even work properly. I know. There was one book, I can't remember what it was, one box that came out, and it was the last, if you scanned it, it gave you a link to the artwork for the last box that was released before that one, because they didn't update the artwork when they redid the boxes. What happened to the Tohara in what sense, Dorina? In law, or is in my wife getting rid of them? It does have. Now that I know what it is, I can say 2 fins to stick on Kanara and I'm done. Hey, bravo. Nuclear Kitty, good evening. Hello, buddy. How are you? Shouldn't you be writing? Because I should be. I should have such a cool final colour for non-metallic. Yeah, I can imagine that. I can absolutely imagine that. Dorina, it meant storage boxes like Felter and Safe and Sound. I have no clue why pro boxes would sell. So, Rat and Mike, evening. Just got back from work. Sorry late to the chat. No problems. Hope you're doing okay. Yep. Thank you, mate. It's one of those things. It is the inevitability of life, unfortunately. I've been throwing darts and rocks at a picture of Hatamoto. Don't be like that. Seems like proper... Seems like proper CHA training. Yes, it does. I saw on eBay a Power of the Prime's binding team sale for 90 quid. I have no idea what that is, so I hope that's a good price. 20 Infinity models assembled. Woof! Bravo! Round of applause for Captain Castle. Outstanding. Bravo. Hopefully it'll be dry tomorrow and then I can get the rattle can out before I get the airbrush out. Bravo. I still don't know why my phone won't scan QR codes. Sometimes you need to install a QR code reader. I had that. It sucked. Just finished my 1,000 words for the day. A bit banned out after a 2k day for a few months. 2k a day for a few months. I can imagine. That does get much. Larkbeard, hello. Oh, you made it. I'm glad you're here. It's always nice to see you. And I did say earlier that I wasn't sure if I was coming on or not. So far, you've missed this side of this guy getting painted. So we have the yellow and the orange down here. So that's looking pretty. I just realised that I need to wash these copper colours with... put a red wash over it. package or a red filter. Because what I need to do with that in a minute is then highlight it with gold, but I need to deepen the shadows a bit first. So, Spaceship! Hello, Phoenix. Larkbeard, oh, thank you for, buddy, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. So Larkbeard just used his Prime subscription to subscribe to me over on Twitch, and that was very kind. And if you do have the Prime subscription and you wanted to do that, you absolutely should. Although I will say that I ditched my Prime subscription yesterday. I finally got sick to death. So watching, I decided to sit like when I'm not talking to you, lovely mammals, I will often, and reptiles. There may be reptiles there. I shouldn't really discriminate. I will often stick something on to watch, and I've not been interested enough to do it previously, but I decided that what I was going to do is I was going to watch the Jack Ryan TV show on Prime. I was like, you know, I'm sure it's going to be like fluff, and it's designed for Prime, so it's for streaming, so it's going to be something that you can not pay attention to for 30 seconds while you do sort of a tongue-out intense moment of detail painting on a specific part of a ship, and then go back to it, and you won't sort of be lost. So I thought I'd start watching that, and I watched the first episode, and then I went to watch the second episode, and it went, oh, here's 90 seconds of adverts. I don't want to watch 90 seconds of adverts. I don't want to watch any adverts because I pay for this service, and you have more money than God. So no. So I stopped watching it then. And then I went back to it, or I went to go back to it a couple of days later, and I wasn't paying attention. I clicked something, and it loaded into a different show after 90 seconds of ads. And I was like, I'm going to watch 90 seconds of ads, and I'll watch a little bit of Jack Ryan. And it came on, it wasn't Jack Ryan. I'm like, fine. So then I loaded the actual show I wanted to watch, and I went, oh, 90 seconds of ads. All right, that's it, I'm out. I'm done. So I cancelled my subscription. There and then. We done. F you, Bezos. If you have more money than God and I'm already paying you for a service and you're like, oh no, you're not paying me enough, therefore you have to watch ads as well. Nope. I will keep my X euros a month and you can go in the bin. So, this late stage capitalism sucks, man. We don't want lots of money, we want all of the money. Constant growing mass of it. Anyway, I got myself started. Anyway, those ships wouldn't look out of place mounted on the shoulders of one of those tail parachute things. That'd be nice now, Captain Castle. Nuclear, do you just write or do you have an outline? Oh, is he a pantser or a plotter? I know he's a plotter. He's got to be a plotter. He's got the look of a plotter. Shampoo, I always have a very thorough plot layer. It is. Before I start writing, he's a plotter. That's just me, though. There are lots of different ways to do it. Yes, I have an outline of direction. I know where I want to end up, and I know the beats I want to hit in between, and then I just kind of draw the dots of, like, stuff. If memory serves, when things went horribly wrong, there was a narrative campaign. This is coming from the back of the brain of memory here, Dorina, with the Toha. There was a narrative campaign where one of the jump gates was lost, and basically most of the Toha got trapped on the other side of it. So I can't remember if it was destroyed or it was just taken over by the Combined, but basically they got locked on one side of it and everyone else is on the other. So for Toha players, it was kind of like, no, we don't want you anymore. You're on the other side of the door and we're not letting you in. I, for one, welcome our yellow biophyte of Lords. Bravo. So not my style. Yeah, fair play. Brush hair must have come loose and then removed it from my whip. Celestial Guard hacker. It's taken the primer. Oh no! No! Oh, the pain is real, Cratchit Otter. No! That horrible moment. Oh, that sucks. Dude. Oh, chat. F to pay respects to Crouching Otter's Celestial Guard's primer. It's come a lump of it's come off mid-paint. Oh, I feel for you, man. Oh, that's rough. Adverts on any paid service is instantly rubbish. Yes, I completely agree, Shampoo. Don't get me started on Prime. I was happily rewatching Babylon 5 and turns out they only have Season 1 for free. they're monsters. I own it on DVD. That's the best way to do it because then we don't have to pay anyone for it and F them. Yeah. So how many biospheres was left to paint? Most of them, Felix. I got distracted. I got a bit distracted. So all of me battle cruisers are made. Look, you can't do I know you can't do this as a UCM player. This is just like black magic from your perspective. So that goes in. Oh, is it going to stay? It's actually going to stick. You can't do that. We can. It's not a thing you can do because then I can take it out and I can deploy it on the board. You can't do that. Yeah, yeah. See, freaking cool. Yeah. Anywho, I'll stop taunting the UCM player now for a minute. Anyway. Until recently, I didn't even realise how many people pants it. I wouldn't even know how to do that. Oh, I love talking to other writers, and you find out how they do it, and you get like I don't know how you plot it all out. I can't do it. It's too organic. It's too like It's I can't do it. I've got to like yeah. Oof. I mean, there's certain bits like yeah, but no. Oof. The concept of just like pinning it all down before I started. No, I can't do it. I have ultimate respect for people that can plot it out. I just can't. I'm sort of, is it a planter? Somewhere between the two. There's bits that I'll structure, because you kind of have to. Or I'll at least document down and be like, no, this is the bit where I want to hit. And it keeps life exciting. Like one of my first drafts that needs editing has got this wonderful character in it that I know disappears halfway through the book because I was like, actually, I don't need you. I thought I needed you for this, but I don't. So, yeah, when we come back to edit this, you're disappearing, I'm afraid. Lovely guy. Really nice guy. Really interesting character. No use for me. Didn't need him whatsoever, so he has been consigned to the dustbin of that first draft and will probably appear in a later book, I guess. But for the time being, it sucks to be him, basically. Cool, so got a battle-scarred T1000 Terminator. That would work. You can use it as a gun. Nice, but you say I'm also have nice tricks. Yeah, nice tricks I can put bullet holes in for you. It's not a problem. Phoenix Blade, my friend. Always happy to help with that. How very dare you talk GW at me? What have I done to deserve such abuse? Be nice. He was talking about, my goodness, he was talking about Terminator. Some characters are chaotic and run off to do their own things, usually fun things. Oh, yeah. I've got a character called Stuart the Barbarian. I don't know. So Nuclear Kid is a professional writer. I hope you don't mind me saying that. I'm not going to talk about what you do, but you are a professional writer, and he like puts books out to spec and all the rest of it. From what I understand, again, correct me if I'm wrong. I am what's called an enthusiastic amateur, which means I have at least 15 different projects going on simultaneously, and one of them is Stuart the Barbarian. And hit that little mother cannot keep focused to get through anything ever. It's a right pain in the backside to write him, but I love him. Yes, it was a Terminator 2 reference. Well done, Crouchy. Been meaning to catch one of these for a while. Any chance I brushed past you at the CB stand at the Games Expo the other week? If so, I wasn't quick enough to put the name to face and say hi, thanks. So delicious. First of all, hello, welcome, good to see you. Second of all, no, I wasn't there because I don't live in the UK. I live in the Netherlands, so you are more likely to see me like this year. I think I will be doing Speyer and Essen. I'm doing that later in the year. So lots of people that I need to go and say hello to and hang out with and get beers with. So I will certainly be there then. But no, I didn't. The UK Expo, there was. We had an event that weekend. Was that when the satellite was on? That might have been when our satellite was being held. I can't remember. But yeah, that was not one of the options, unfortunately. But anyone that ever does see me like at an event and stuff, because we're going to try and go to more of them, mostly because like I like talk to so many people in the industry that I kind of want to hang out with them and be like, hey, I've actually met you now. This is nice. So I kind of want to do that. And so I'm going to be going to more of these like trade events and stuff because it's kind of funky. Kind of fun. So by all means, if you see me, do pop along and say hello. I saw Terminator, my brain went, all 40k, self-inflicted insult. Do you know what, Crouching Us, Terminator, mentioning that, fun thing. In Terminator 2, I can't remember what the date is. There's a specific date when Judgment Day happens. I think it was in 1997. And I was sat on my sofa watching Terminator 2 completely coincidentally on the day that Judgment Day was supposed to happen. And I'm not going to lie, there was part of me, part of 17-year-old Hydra that went, oh, I'm sure it'll be fine. Of course, they avert it all at the end of the movie, so it was fine. But there was a brief moment where I was like, is this the bit where I get my affairs in order? No, it's just a movie. Yeah, I know that. But I'm not sure the rest of the world is conscious of the fact that this is just a movie. We were all fine, you'll be glad to hear. We didn't all get blown up and taken over by robot overlords on that particular day. Had to wait for ChatGPT for that. Anyway. I was too busy bundling up an armful of Caledonians for the Expo set discount. Nice! That explains why I was not convinced it was you. Well, there you go. A Hydra doppelganger. No, the world is not ready for that. Someone was smart in scheduling that. Yes, they were. Oh! It's currently on you're on a 7-stream streak. Try saying that 15 times quickly. Thank you, Larbeard. If any of you happen to see me at a convention, don't talk to me, you rancid peasants. We wouldn't sort of be, we're just going to be in awe. Nuclear Kid will see you, everyone will know it is you, and just be like, don't look at him, my God, the beauty of the man, the beauty of the man. Gosh darn it, 2 discovered checks, and then we know it's a speculo. True that. True that. So yeah, anyway. But yeah, I've had a couple of times that people have been like, hey, are you? Yeah, that's me. And they're like, oh, that's really cool to meet you. And you're like, yeah, this is weird. But it's cool weird. It's kind of funky. Like people telling you what they've got out of your work in their life is, like I've said before, umpteen times, it is the point. So it's nice when that happens. It's kind of fun. But then I haven't reached the lofty status as Nuclear Kid where I understand my place in the universe, which is vastly above all of you. You know, I think I need at least 100 people per stream to be watching me for that to be the case. I'm the least awesome person imaginable. I like you, Nuclear Kid. Every interaction I've had with you has been positive and fun and interesting. So, quick, somewhat look at my piece delusional. Aren't we all? Anyway, it's a different story for another time. But yeah. So the pressure is off you for the time being, is it, Nuclear? You're able to have a little bit more of a sedate time with producing stuff. That's always nice. I'm really, like, I've got a lot of stuff going on at the moment, as people on my Discord will know. And when the idea was at the moment to be pushing really hard to get lots of stuff going on the channel so that I can sort of start a second channel, because I'll have a backlog of stuff here to go, because there's lots of things that I need to get out into the world that I haven't yet got out into the world. Like there's some things that have been waiting quite some time for a review and stuff like that. So get those stacked up and then start my second YouTube channel for my writing side of things, to start pushing myself to actually get some frickin' words down, because there is way too many gaps between when I sit and write and when, you know, from one time to the next. I need to get back to the daily habit of writing and getting people interested in what I write, so that when it's done and I put it out into the world, there'll be people that want to buy it because they've been waiting for it. So, although I did have a very interesting conversation with a games company the other day, a wargaming company the other day, about producing some short stories for them. And if I can get that happening, well, my goodness, you chaps in for a treat. You chaps and chapettes, apologies. Aren't you all in for a treat? But can't say anything more about that for the time being. But if it does happen, expect maniacal giggling. because, you know, it's just how it works. So, well, thanks. You're welcome. What is this? This is a biophycer for Dropfleet. Spaceship! Absolutely. Hope you're doing well. Thanks, little stinker. We are surviving. We're doing well. I rented the ring and watched the extras with the video from the film that leads to your phone ringing and then you die. Having watched that video, my home phone rang. I'm still alive though. It's funny when you have those moments, isn't it, where you're like, no, it's a film. I'm fine. I'm a grown up and I don't have to be scared. I wish I had the cojones to build a following and leverage it into self-publishing, but I just don't have the stats for that. No one has the stats for that. I didn't have the stats for this when I started out, and now, I mean, I'm not a huge star of stage, screen, dockyard, canteen yet by any stretch of the imagination, but you know, within like the infinity sphere, for channels that are focused on it heavily, I am one of the bigger ones, and that comes from just doing it. It's like with writing, buddy. You got to just do it, and then stuff happens, and you keep doing it, and eventually more stuff happens. It's the only way it happens. So what we'll do is, when I do get my writing channel up, Nuclear, I will interview you for my writing channel, because then you can start building off that. How does that sound? That sounds fun. We should do that. Stupid work pulling me away. Kaz, no! You're contributing your presence, and I appreciate that. You know that you confirmed author of the next Horus Heresy book? No, I'm not. No, I know the guys that write the stuff for GW are very hard-working and handsome individuals, and I would never aim to compete with them. That's there's a whole, you know, the plastic surgery I'd need to have done to look as handsome as those chaps. Just not worth it. Have you heard about Ember Obsidian Protocol Wargame? No, I have not. I have not. We should check that out. The ring was always hilarious to me. Some gangly drowned girl come out of my TV. I go full America on. Kaz, you go full America on everybody. I love you dearly. But there is no doubt in my mind that anyone pulling some BS around you is going to get America at head height. So I still think writing is easier than people think. It's the editing that takes forever. I don't know. You say that. I think that writing is a muscle that needs exercise. And if you're prepared to do that, that's true. But also, I know people that have wanted to write and have simply not had any ideas, which, as somebody who suffers from plot bunnies that bounce around all over the place and breed like they're going out of fashion, I could not relate to that at all. But they were like, yeah, what should I write? What's in your head to write? Nothing. How is that? That must be amazing. Whole periods of time of not thinking about stuff that you want to, that would be brilliant. Like the conversation with this wargaming company that I'm having came about because I was talking to one of their team about something that they've got coming out that I'm NDA'd and can't talk about, but it was law-based. And as we were talking about that law, I was like, ooh, see, I've got this idea for this story about this, and this around this particular thing. And yeah, you start spinning it around and looking at it from different directions, and you're suddenly like, actually, this is not just like a concept. There's a story here. There's a tale to tell. So yeah, I think that's something we should explore. And then yeah, I think there has to be. You have to have that creativity inside yourself, and not everyone does, which is fine. Not everyone should do, because, you know, there's different types of people out there. That's a bit heavy. Oh God, hang on, where are we? But I thought about doing short writing tip videos. The anxiety around it is very intense, though. I don't want to look stupid. Nuclear, you won't. You'll help someone, and that's all it takes. Even if it's just one person, you've done great things. I'd be happy to collab. I think that's what the cool kids call it. I think they do, and probably people that are a lot younger than both you and I, my friend, but we absolutely shall. Hey, yo, Gene Dean. I'm British. I just spit out a mouthful of tea and run. And no, that's not entirely true, Crouching Otter. I will expect you to be darkly sarcastic. That's necessary. Made it for the drive home. Welcome, welcome. Drive safe. Do pay attention to the road, no matter how glorious this turns out. To write for her, you have to be a bald man with a beard. Jim Swallow is only an honorary bald beardy man. Noted. Colorac, Hydra's Bioverse is looking great. Thank you very much. It's coming together. This is going to be the second one when this is done. I think you will love it. I think so too. Your paint mortar looks like mango juice. Go on, you must try it. Available from the merch store. You see the literal "don't drink it" written on it. Literal "don't drink it." That has literally saved me from drinking it before. Because, yeah, sometimes I have the brain capacity of a stunned duckling. Long time ago, I thought I could write stories. Then I learned I had to spell. Tapped out there, plus creativity is hard. Creativity is hard. I was published when Babylon 5 Space Combat Call to Arms was around twice in Science Importance. Twice. Nice. I'm off. Night, Felix. Take care, buddy. Any backstory for names or characters is always based out of something else. Which is where it starts. There's no original ideas. The small print is too small. Shall I do a version for the hard of seeing? Is that what you're telling me, Neil? You need that. If we can make it happen, I'm happy to accommodate. All part of the service, my friend. All part of the service. Yeah, it's been a while since I drank paint water. It has happened. It's not the most pleasant of experiences, of course, but so yeah. Don't forget, if you do want to, if you're not already and you're thinking about it, you should definitely become a member of the channel, because then you get to join us on the Discord, where you get to see like 3 Men in the Shed Wargaming's beautiful tables, which are unnecessarily gorgeous, and join in the general anarchy that is the channel. Plus, push me towards that 100 member mark, which would be freaking awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. That's another milestone. And much as numbers don't mean anything, it's still freaking awesome. You better be the Specsavers advert. Noted. Writing so tiny I'd miss it. Cut away the risk by drinking exclusively Monster Energy drinks. Yeah, but the caffeine makes you shake, and I'm not accurate enough as it is. So appreciate the idea, Lotbeard, but dang nabbit, I need to send you that miniature. When the stuff that I was talking about on Discord has been resolved, then we can get that dude, that Walker, in the post to you, because every time I see your name, I'm like, damn it! But I've got a lot of stuff going on at the moment, as discussed, so right now is not the time, but it will happen soon. I'll get it out to you, man. Drinks go in mugs, paint water goes in used and cleaned out. Man's in olive containers. I don't have one of those. I have a brush water cup. It's metal. That's the other saving grace, is metal. I've never understood the drinking paint water thing, but then I have never used a mug before. How old are you, Calmaric? Are you on little bottles still? I mean that with the greatest of affection. Using the shakes to counterbalance built-in shakiness. That is some next level. Way, Jesus! Thank you, Kaz. 12 months as Archangel. That's stunning, buddy. That's scary. Indeed, become a member and judge me for my poor life decisions. It's like a Discord staple at this point. Yeah, but we love you. That's important. There's a lot of Kaz love that goes on. So, dear Lord, man. Thank you so much. Wow. Hello, new members. Everyone say thank you, Kaz. That's kind, man. Thank you so much. Jeez, dude. Thank you. How more are you talking? That's incredibly kind. I've washed brushes in my iced tea. Yeah, but you see, in my opinion, that's what iced tea is good for. So, all the cool kids have metal mugs for painting. Yes, we do. Oh yes, you said you aren't thinking of the Interplanetario due to competitiveness in Infinity for 3 days being too much, I go to play the side games, meet people and participate in the Pulpy Ninja Warrior. Yeah, no, I get that, Lapid. I get that. Yeah. If I was going, I was going, and I'm just not feeling it at the moment. It's just not fun. It's not, in fact, it's not just Infinity, it's generally like massively competitive stuff just doesn't really inspire me at the moment. So I'm doing what's fun, which is not that. So Interplanetario is a wash for me this year, which is a shame because like there's people that I wanted to see there, there's people that I wanted to meet there, but it's a long way to go to have a cup of coffee with somebody. You know what I mean? I wanted to though. So Kaz, the hero we need. He is. Thank you so much, Kaz. That's incredibly kind, man. That is incredibly kind. Thank you so much, buddy. You have been around a while. Gene Dean as well. Can't get rid of him either. Some people, I was looking the other day. There's a view that I find occasionally inside of like the back end of YouTube that shows you really useful information. And I was looking at how long some people have been members of the channel, and it's absolutely crazy how long like some of you have been supporting me. It's absolutely bonkers. And I guess I'm doing something right, which is nice. And we're about to hit 6,000 subscribers to the channel as well, which is just, I don't know what to do with that information either. I know it's not 100,000, I know it's not really, it doesn't really matter, but also it's just, it's a bit bewildering sometimes. You look at your stats of like the thousands of hours that people have spent watching my stuff over the last year or whatever. It's just, I don't know. I'll look at it, I'll think about it, and then I'll put it away and not think about it anymore. So, oh yeah, the evil Aero MMRF list. My opponent spent most of their first turn spec fire and grenade launches from behind a building, killed one rem, a few other infantry, including my LT, but it was close to the last turn, 6-2. It was almost 4-4. Damn, dude. Nicely done. I've never drunk paint water, but I've washed my brush in coffee before. That's a whole look. I wanted to ask this, being you are not doing the Planetario, you reminded me. How do you hold a tournament that pulls the focus from building sweaty lists to build flavourful ones, but keep it competitive? I'm glad you asked. That's a really good question. A lot. So it depends what you're working with, and what I mean there is whether you've got a strong local community that's going to come from, or whether you're going to be going out to strangers and pulling them in. If you have a strong local community, then you can set the tone as the leader of that community and be like, guys, this is what we're doing and it's going to be fun. You're going to have fun and bring stupid stuff. I don't want to see anything that's not stupid or not fun. If I see any of that, people are getting the butt kicked. You can take that kind of tone. I find gamers respond to that. They you know, they need a little bit of the stern voice, a little bit of the adult voice, and they kind of get the hint. So that's cool. But there's a couple of things that you can do if you're not doing that. If you're throwing it open to a wider community, the first thing you can do if you're doing Infinity is you run a tournament that's not ITS. You don't rank it on the global scale. So you can still run it via, now you can still run it via Sphere, but no one has got ITS ranking points at risk, okay? Then you can start bolting in rules and list restrictions that ensure that stuff's stupid. So a couple of years ago, I did a tournament that required tags. You had to bring a tag, and the more tags that you bought with you in your list, the more buffs you got. So I think if you had 3 tags in your list, you got a free engineer and stuff like that. So there's that kind of stuff that you can do. There's always going to be people that do take a sweatier approach, but if you lead that community and you lead that event from the perspective of, we are trying to have fun here and just be a little bit silly with it, please get in the spirit of that. You're going to get some D-bags that don't. But I'd suggest that they only do it once, and the next time you run that event, if they apply to join, you say, nope, because last time you were a D-bag. You can come to the next competitive event, but not for this one. Thank you very much for your interest. Have done that. Wasn't very fun because they had a strop, but yeah. I remember this is an age-old story and connected to this. Running a first tournament, so this was my third Infinity community in the UK. I set up a 12-player tournament, and it was newbies basically. It was a newbie event, and a lot of these people had been playing sub 6 months, so they were proper newbies, you know. And a couple of people were like, "Oh, I want to come. Is that okay?" And they were veterans, and I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." And this guy, who should remain nameless, was like, "Oh, actually, I want to come." And I was like, "You're quite competitive. You have to understand this is for newbies, so you need to pull." But he was the best friend of a very good friend of mine. So fine. So just get me your list. And he didn't get me his list. And the Friday before, I chased him up and I went, "I need your list now. Send it through to me." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm just out. I'll get it to you tonight." And the next morning, the tournament started at 10. The next morning at 9:15, the list came through, and I didn't have a chance to look at it because I was in the middle of setting up the tournament. And our little D-bag turned up with his list that he was practicing for the Interplanetario for. So he turned up with a list that was honed to a very fine edge. This was N3 with Vanilla Combined, when Vanilla Combined at that point was just an insurmountable wall of death. And yeah, he took that to a newbie event, and I let him do it because it was like, you know what, that's what you want to do. He won because he was the only one there with an ultra competitive list. I was like, that's fine, it's not a problem at all. And he picked up a life ban from my events for his troubles, because he used to come to pretty much all the events that we ran with the intent of winning, and he was a good player, so he did, and he was after those ITS points, but he would not be getting them anymore from my events. So if you're going to deliberately and very underhandedly circumvent my desires just for your own personal edification, then yeah, you're out, dude. If winning's that important to you that you're going to try and screw over the next sort of generation of players, you are not welcome here. So, but that's how I would do it, Kaz. Take it away from ITS, put stupid stuff in, and just be very, very clear. Thank you, Jean. I'm glad it's been great. Add another round with just people voting for best painted, best theme, best display board, best on show. We also have some achievements in an MCP event. The first to get 7 skulls, super bad roll, gets a special prize, and so on. Yeah, you can put silly stuff in like that too, little bit. That's absolutely true. Can't wait to start on my dark operations from War Machine. They are looking very nice. Fun will be enforced to do not resist. You will enjoy yourself, or you will be banned. That's literally the process, Surfer. That's just what you got to do with some people. Hydra admits to look at YouTube's back end, only with consent. Important there, Crouching Otter. It asked me to do so, so I clicked the button. Just call them turd wallets. You have a long list of people, Dorina, that you wish to call turd wallets. There is an entire encyclopedia of people. Sounds like I was going to plan it. We were doing a fluffy Legion tournament and wanted to make some fun list building rules. That's the way to do it. Just put stupid stuff in there. You know, there's a balance to be struck, okay, if you're putting those list stuff together. So I'm in the process of handing over control of my community's bolt action community to our bolt action officer. So one of the players has been promoted to be the leader of that community because he's the right man for the job. But he was planning out his first tournament, And he was like, right, so what we're going to do is, and he came out with this list of restrictions that was just like, well, I get the direction you're going, but if you put all these restrictions in and somebody doesn't have those miniatures or that sort of range of stuff in their collection, they can't come. So you need to build it so that you sort of lean them towards stupidity without meaning that they have to spend $500 on new miniatures just to attend one event. You know what I mean? Wait, so a newbie-friendly tournament and someone came in with a comp to newbie crash, basically. That's some terrible behaviour. Yeah, it was. And I let it happen. I saw it happening from round one, and I was like, well, there's two ways I can do this. I can DQ him now. That's fine. That's an option. But actually, my newbies are mostly having fun, and the people that he's going to go up against, I know who it's going to be, so they're not going to, they're going to be fine with it. And ultimately, it's a case of, was that fun? Was that worth it? Good, because you're never coming back. You're done. You're washed out. Ta-ra. And, the events that I was running at that point were some of the largest in the area. So it was kind of like when we went competitive, that's, a good opportunity to sort rankings out because you end up playing a good number of good ranked players. Except he couldn't. That was it. So he were not happy. That were not my problem. So it's one of those things. I think it's weird, to keep a community healthy, you need to be a little bit of a parent with it. You need to kind of be protective of it sometimes. Especially when things can get uber competitive, which Infinity can do. It's not, I wouldn't be so worried with like Drop Fleet, because although there is a competitive side to Drop Fleet and you can go that direction with the system, it's not as intensive. So I'm not so concerned there. But where you have this major potential to get absolutely curb stomped by a veteran, there's got to be somebody looking out for the newbies to sort of give them the opportunity to develop into a non-newbie effectively. And I think you need to be quite rigid with that. It was funny, some rando in one of my comment sections the other day gave me a nice long rant. I can't remember what video it was. Gave me a nice long rant about, oh, I don't think that community leaders are a thing, and I think this is just gatekeeping and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, well, he said, oh, I've been in this industry, I've been in wargaming for 40 years, I think it was, and I've never seen a community leader. It's like, I bet you have. I bet you just didn't really register that's what they're doing, because there's always a catalyst. If you dig back far enough, there is always somebody that went, should we get together on Saturday night? And they tend to be the person that keeps saying that over and over and over again as more and more people get involved. There's that one person in the middle of it who just quietly, calmly, just keeps things moving forward, just because that's kind of what they do, and that's fine. But they are your community leader. They are the people that are instigating. And they need to, I think increasingly in this day and age, there comes a point where you need to kind of you've got to be actively protecting your community if you want to see it thrive. Too many toxic players in the community will kill it. I've seen it happen again and again and again, and yeah, I think taking an active defensive posture for your community is the way forward. So yeah, that's me. What was I talking about? There's always dictionaries. There are indeed. Instructions unclear. How does one pull punches while playing OSS? How do you pull punches while playing OSS? You don't pull punches, but you don't bring that ultra sharp list. You don't bring the Azura. You don't bring those very, very monofilament mines on a Naga. Don't bring them. Mine lair. Don't bring them. Success. My Celestial Guard hacker no longer has a ball patch. Woohoo! She does have a very faint line where old paint and new paint met, but that kind of thing doesn't bother me anymore. Bravo! Outstanding. Well fixed. Crouching Otter. Look forward to photos of that. Sounds like a play stupid games, win stupid prizes. He won his last prize. Community leader, don't talk rubbish. Gaming groups just occur naturally in the world. They do. If you go to certain areas of Italy, the entire hillsides is covered with just wargaming communities growing in the wild, ready to be harvested and shipped around Europe. Yeah, it's one of those things. The secret's out. Reminds me, years ago there was a news report on this will not be news to the Brits in the group. There was a news report on the national news on April Fools where they did a whole thing about the pasta growing trees in Italy. This is like the 60s or 70s. And spaghetti growing trees in Italy. And a whole bunch of people believed it. Like, what? Oh yes, it's the harvesting time of the year for spaghetti. It's finally coming ripe, and the harvest this year is looking especially good. And people are like, wow, that's where the spaghetti comes from. Oh, honey. Where to start with that? But yeah, pure genius. Whoever came up with that was an absolute legend. But yeah, the same is absolutely true for wargaming communities. They just literally grow on trees. And if left alone, they will just thrive naturally. Big shout out to all the community leaders. Indeed, indeed. Indeed, Gene D. Indeed. Yeah. The funny thing was, that individual who's like, there's no such thing as a community leader, then went on to explain how he runs events, and I'm like, oh, sweetie, you do realise that makes you one of them, one of the things that doesn't exist. I mean, if you don't believe in yourself, there is sort of therapy you can get for that, but this is a bit excessive. Nice person, I'm sure, salt of the earth. But like I said, we're hitting that size at the moment where we're attracting the weirdos, and it's fun, it's interesting. I've not actually had to remove any comments this time, which is nice. We had an influx, I don't know, about 6 months ago, where a few people had to get removed, because I don't mind you calling me an idiot, but I do mind you being racist. There's limits. So, yeah. Oh, there was that. There's a guy that I had to remove because he was a way too like pro-Brexit nut job, because he accused me of pandering to the woke mob because I gave the price for a product in euros. And I'm like, dude, I live in the Netherlands. That's literally what I pay for stuff in. You know, I'm not going to go and look up what it is in blooming pounds sterling just because I've got this accent. That's not how that works, you know? Pick aside, which faction does Ruby Monday go with? Picked her up at UKGE. She goes into various. She goes into quite a lot at the moment, but I think she's going to get cut back later. If you open the army builder, you'll see that when you look at her profile, it tells you what she's in. Let me have a look. Where is she? Not in there. She's in Corgis. It's really helpful when you click completely the wrong thing and go, why is the thing that isn't... So she is in, she's on your N5 armies. Kestrel, Corregidor, Next Wave, OSS and Shinden. So she fits in all those at the moment. For the time being. How long? I don't know, but that's currently the state of things. Hey, I'm not weird, I'm just super important. I need to run and grab some moo juice back soon. Alright, take care, have fun. Until next time, Colo is out. Time to barbecue some dinner. Oh god, I could go a barbecue. Get a steak on there for me, please, Kaz. I'd appreciate that. That would be very nice. You take care, and thank you so much for your support this evening. That was very kind. All the new people, and ticking us over the 100 members as well, which is kind of crazy, so thank you for that. Personally responsible. It's your own fault. It's your fault. I don't know how that works. Anyway, cheers, mate. There's a line in there somewhere. I know what I mean. Yeah, this is... I think these sides are done. I think we can call those done, can't we? They look all right. Pretty enough. This is a little bit scrappy. Tidy that up some. So I'm just going to finish. I'm going to finish these bits of orange and yellow on here rather quickly, and then I'm going to head off and try not to do any more and get some rest. Because tomorrow I've got so many videos to record, it's untrue. I spent a lot of today sorting out assets and things, doing all those lovely thumbnails and sorting out a bit of scripting stuff and like pulling my head together on the stuff I want to say. It's going to be interesting. I hope that CB doesn't bring anything else out so I can finally get that blooming how to learn N5 with Maze Breaker, because we kind of need to do that. And I've got some really cool videos coming up for that. I was going to do a whole thing where we went into the factions, but I've recorded a video for it for OSS, and to be honest with you, it wasn't really interesting because there's a faction focus that I need to do for OSS, and I'd kind of rather do it there. I think that's probably more useful than just doing a dive into the specific units of the box and how they fit together and stuff. It doesn't feel useful. Best way I can put it, politest way I can put it. Oh, you're out too. Bye, Neil. See you on Discord, buddy. Thank you for hanging. So instead, there is a video coming for Maze Breaker, where we are going to cover in some detail what to buy next. So you've got Maze Breaker, and you've got Beyond Maze Breaker. What should you pick up after that? What works? And that will be a video that is split for members and non-members. So non-members are going to get the whole, this is what you should buy next, this is the kind of thing that synergizes, this is the kind of list you can put together for it. And then on the member video, there'll be some deep dive lists where we actually look at them and go, right, what we can do with that, the way that fits together is, you know? So you can actually see the lists, how they sit, tactically how they run. We can dive into that. Probably 2 or 3 lists I think I'm going to do for each faction effectively. So there'll be one for OSS, and then, you know, what to buy next for OSS, and then what to buy next for Corregidor, because I think that's actually more useful than other stuff. Oops, I seem to have got distracted and started doing the true metallics that I need to finish off on here. Oh well, bear with me, we'll just get this bit done. So yeah, so those are coming. Which one, Captain Castle? The ones to what to buy next? Oh, it says so many stuff. Yeah, no, I'm going to split it up. It's going to get split. Sorry, it's going to get split by faction, because you don't want to sit down if you're just doing OSS. You don't want to sit down and hear about Corregidor and then, you know, skip through a video and stuff. That's not fun. It's not really interesting. So it will be one for OSS and one for Corregidor. And not too crazy either, like, because there's certain things you definitely should get, in my opinion, and certain things that you could get, depending on how you want to play. So we're going to talk about all that and so much more. Give you guys the option of, like, as I say, for members, seeing some lists and how, and I think when you go into a game, you should have a plan. We've talked about this. I've talked about this on many videos. That your lists should be crafted around a plan to complete the mission that you're playing. So there'll be a discussion of what planning looks like for those particular lists, for those particular factions. And so for OSS, Mazebreaker OSS, and Corregidor from Mazebreaker as well. So we're going to go into some details. So they are going to be chunky old videos. Bring snacks, very much bring snacks. I'm going to call that guy done, actually. A little bit of extra gold on them to make him extra shiny. But I think, what do you think? Does he look all right? Is he looking good? If I stick him next to his brother, how does he look? They kind of look okay, don't they? Side by side. Look all right, I think. Ooh, I have got a smudge of colour that's gone somewhere it shouldn't. I'm fixing that. I'm not leaving that. That's going to annoy me. So, what's that? That's the wrong colour. Dog makes yourself. Scoff's got to find a purple. That'll do. So yeah, so those are coming up over the next couple of weeks. Because it'll be, I don't know, I kind of want to spread those out. Part of me is like, right, just bang out both of those what to buy next videos back to back, like on a Thursday and a Friday. But then that really kills the performance of your channel. Because like if you put out another video, so if I put out, I don't know, OSS first, and that starts doing well, and then the following day I put out Corregidor, and that does really well, it will kill the views for OSS because the algorithm will stop recommending it. So, yeah. I will let... Thank you, Larbit. I'm glad it looks spanking smooth. And so I will probably actually put it out to Discord and let you guys decide who we're going to do first, whether we're going to do Corregidor or whether we're going to do OSS first. I very nearly purchased the Maze Breaker bundle, but cancelled my pre-order given I'm ISS shares mode at the moment. That was a sensible decision as a responsible adult. It absolutely is. If you're buying it out of FOMO, dude, it's just going to sit in the cupboard, and that's not really useful, you know? It's not. It's just stuff. If owning stuff makes you happy, like people that collect Lego and stuff like that and keep it in a box, and that makes you happy, cool, then do that. But if not, if you don't get happy just by owning stuff, then don't do that. That's going to suck. That's going to just be stuff lying around your house. Don't need that. Man, as one of those people who got Sandtrap off the hype, the start playing content on this channel has been maybe the most useful gaming content of all time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ulysses. I'm really pleased to hear that. That's exactly what it exists for. I actually need to write. I've got 2 blogs to write for Corvus Belli at the moment about starting to play Infinity. So, yeah, they know they have an issue too. So it's kind of flattering they're talking to me, but we'll see what happens. I find the app really unintuitive, so lists are helpful. Yeah, no, absolutely, Captain Castle. Not only will you have lists, but there'll be the code in the description of the video, so you can upload it yourself and see it. And obviously, if you have any questions about it, you can then hit me up on Discord and we can chat it through. Sadly, you started releasing it about a month after my buddy and I opened the Sandtrap book to find no rules, but hey, we got there in the end. Good. I'm glad you got there in the end. It's, yeah, it was tough. I remember when I first saw Sandtrap, so for those of you who don't know the story, and I won't bore you with it, but when N5 was about to come out, I was working with Corvus Belli as a freelance copywriter. And when I first saw Sandtrap, it was just like, yeah! And then I first saw the book and I was like, oh no, what? No, not that, don't do that. But they did the thing. It was very, yeah. I need to do another guide actually on using the app, Captain Castle. That'll come later. I don't want to do that again. Do Corregidor first, they need the buff. And yeah, and I love them. They make me happy, so. I've already built my Maze Breaker stuff, which is super fun. YCB, why did you not fix the stupid feet? I don't know. I don't know. Ugh. Sometimes I do want a 40+ minute talk on thing to listen to. Elliptical sessions need those. Robert Shepard's latest 2-hour ranking video came just in time. I can imagine. I can imagine. Yeah. The thing is, I also am mindful of like, when I do videos, I waffle. I chat. I had really scripted videos for a long period of time and it just doesn't work for me. That's not... I try and put out stuff that I think is representative of me and how I think and how I feel, and overly scripted loses that. It doesn't feel authentically me, and I hate that. It makes me sound a hippie as hell, but you know what I mean. It doesn't feel right. It smells a funny colour. So I've moved away from that and I have structure and I put a degree of scripting around things, but nothing too heavy. And that means that I can waffle off for hours, and I try not to because people won't watch it. It's just a bit of a waste of everyone's time. So yeah, it's a challenge, but there's some stuff I'm going to do that's going to be longer form when you like that. Trust me, it's going to happen. Why they keep the feet? I don't know why they kept the feet, Larbeard. I don't know why they did that. It just made me sad. It just, yeah. When I was a baby software engineer 20+ years ago, the UX of the Infinity app would have been called Mystery Meat Navigation. That is accurate. There are ways of making it easier to use and like config you can put in, but yeah, we have not very easy to identify icons and no idea what would happen when you click tap them. No, absolutely, it very much is. It's one of the greatest issues with Infinity is the level of assumed knowledge. There is a degree of assumed knowledge that you will understand that, and most people don't, because, you know, when they're newbies, they're newbies. They've not seen any of this stuff before, so therefore it's all like, it does what? With a who? With a how? With a That's not a great experience, and it's why people struggle to get into the system, because I don't think, like with the army builder, I don't think Corvus Belli understand how to induct people into their system. As far as CB doesn't have an app tutorial video, they're not aware that they need one. Crouching Otter. They don't. I've had many conversations. Let's put it this way, I've had many conversations. And those conversations have always been, oh yeah, but, you know. And it's like, no. Dorina, thank you for hanging out. It's always a pleasure. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Although I better scoot as well, because now that these two beauties are done, taking me to a grand total of 2 biofices done out of like 14 progress, I'm going to go, because tomorrow I've got to call a shed load of videos and all that sort of stuff. And should we? I'm not going to. No, I can't do it. No, I'm not going to do it. I was going to tease the secret project, but I'm not going to. You can wait. Very exciting. I have more stuff arriving for the secret project tomorrow. And I was like, oh, I'm nearly done then. And then I figured out, and I've got about 250, 260 euros worth of stuff still to buy for it. I'm like, damn it. How did it? Never mind. Such is life of a wargamer. Thank you, Little Badger. I'm glad you like them. You too, Captain Castle. Thank you all for hanging out and generally chilling. School year over. No longer need to wake up before 6 AM on Tuesday. Nice, Lotbeard. Congratulations on reaching the end of the school year. But no, thank you all so much for hanging out. I mean it greatly. It's always a pleasure to have you here. And it was really nice with everything that's been going on that many of you know. It's been really nice to have you hanging out. So I appreciate you all greatly. Thank you so much. Lots of videos coming this week. I think there might even be 4. There might even be 4 videos this week. So yeah, brace yourself. There's a lot of me coming. You don't have to watch them all, but there is a test. Anyway, but thank you for a wonderful evening. Thank you for coming and chilling. And thank you all for your support where you've given it this evening and on Discord as well, members, with everything that's going on. I appreciate it. But for now, I will see you all soon. Take care and goodbye.